Hello class, and this is my presentation for our final project in the Windows web server. I use Windows Server through IIS to do my website. I chose this just because I wanted to do something that was kind of not on the popular end of things, because I just like to learn things that aren't part of the norm, whereas Apache seemed to be the more popular one. So I felt to do something a little bit different. So first I've got PowerShell here open. I'm going to do a quick ping of my website just to show that it works. And we're getting replies. I can also go in and I'm going to do a quick ping of the actual IP address. And that works as well, showing me that my DNS is set up, which I've got that right here. Here's my forward lookup zones. And then the reverse lookup zones are going to be in there as well, just like we had created in class. So that's my DNS end of the server. So I'm going to close these. So I'm going to bring up my website. So I work for Dollar Tree, and at Dollar Tree it's a big deal to track the cases per hour that we stock, just to be able to track productivity. We don't have a computerized form to do so. We do it all on pen and paper. So I felt that I'd try to create something with my limited knowledge here to do something different. So when you first open the website, it's going to say welcome to your stocking productivity. It's going to ask you what you want to do. So here you can enter new data, or you can look up old data. Originally, when I had the idea for this site, I wanted to create a login page to be able to uniquely log into this page. I wasn't able to do so. I had ran out of time, and I'm not very well versed anymore in HTML and web design like I used to. I did a lot of it back in like 98, 99, and the whole universe of web design has changed. But back onto what we're doing here. So the person would come in, they want to enter new data. So we're going to click there. You're going to type in the date. For this example, let's just use 12/9 of 16. Put in somebody's name. Let's not use Bob. Let's use Joe. And this piece of it, they're going to put in how many hours they spent total on stocking. I originally designed it where you could put your start time as like, say, 7 a.m. and then your end time is like 3 p.m. But I wasn't having any luck with a query string in SQL to be able to add that to where it would know that it's 7 to 3 is 8 hours worth of work. So I made it easy on myself, and I put it in there as hours spent. So let's say Joe here spent 5 hours stocking, and he put out just 150 cases. He was having a relaxed day. So then he can hit submit. And right here it shows that the form has been processed. And if he'd like to, he can click this little hyperlink here to view his latest results. So I'm going to click here. And this, you can put in any name that you want. And if it's got any records in the database under that name, it's going to pull them up. So if I put in Jane, for example, it's not going to pull up anything because Jane's not in my example. I know I had put some info in there for Bob. In there, Bob's got a whole bunch of data put in there, and it's all in chronological order, in descending order anyway. I could change the SQL string to do it in ascending, but I did not for this one. So we're going to put in Joe's name. Search Joe. Hey, there's Joe. His name, how much time he spent. He put out 150 cases. So on average, he put out about 30 cases an hour on December 9th. Not sure why the time carried over here, so I will disregard that. So if we want to, we can click home, and it'll bring us back here. Now, as a manager, I like to be able to go in and kind of look at overall numbers for past weeks. So I can click on that link there, and it's going to show me week of November 27th. I can view this past data and take a peek at it. And you know, Bob wasn't doing too terribly well that week. I had random dates, not random, but a string of dates put in there just for example purchases. But Bob wasn't doing too well. So we can hit the back button. We can look at another week's worth. We got Bob, Sally. There's Joe. I got myself in there just to show that how this data works. That is kind of the bulk of the website for what time we had. I wanted to put more into. Well, I had more ideas, but they did not surface. So everything linked to an SQL database here. As you can see, all the information right here. We've got the date, name, time spent, cases stocked, and cases per hour. This field, I was able to, if we go under edit, we can view my cases per hour. And if you come down to the properties, you can see that there was a information inside there to be able to, we'll go under design. There it is. So when we go under cases per hour, there's no data type in there. But what I did is under the computed column is we put in a formula, a mathematical formula, that I wanted to take the column of cases stocked and divide it by the time. So it divided those two columns to produce the number of cases per hour. So this one will change. This is not data that I enter. It computes it on its own. So which was one thing that I really wanted it to do. So that's my quick database. So we'll go on to some of what my background coding looked like. So we got our main page, nothing too fancy there. The image source, it shows that it's in the folder images and it's looking for the photo logo. And then she's got some basic things in here. So if you want to enter new stocking, it's going to pull up the default one website. And then it'll bring you here, just a basic form. Nothing too fancy behind this. It's going to call the insert action ASP. This one is going to be very similar to what we did in class. I felt for what I was doing, this suited what I needed to do. I had just changed a lot of the info to call my own database. So we got the results. This one is an ASPX, so ASP.NET. I did this above and beyond just kind of as one of those cool, fun things. I used Microsoft's Visual Studio to help create this. I'm not very versed in ASP.NET, but I wanted to be able to do something very specific, so I used Visual Studio, which was a fun little program. You can put it in design mode and be able to carry things over. Here's the database table it pulled over. There's the text box, the submit button. This right here is where it maps it to its data source. So you can see right here is the connection string that is used. And if you go back to my notepad, we've got the connection string is right down here. So that will pull the command to do what I wanted it to look for. So it's going to pull a select, date, name, cases stocked, time, cases per hour, and where it's pulling it from. This was programmed as part of the Visual Studio when I was inside the configuring my data source. I was able to pick these connections to get them to do particular things that I had wanted them to. So I can pull it from the stocking table, and I used a lot of this right inside here to get it. Let's see if I can find my connection and pull it from the stocking. And it looks like it's not going to pull it up for me today. But that is where I created my data source string, and you can see it right here. This is my website in a nutshell. I had fun programming this and hope everybody enjoys my presentation. Thank you.